There's, the block is there. And, it presents itself when I'm chanting or singing or doing, what is it? What can I say that it is about it when I move from speaking to singing? Because I hit notes just fine when I'm speaking. Like I can hear the tones and I can make them when I'm speaking. For some reason, I can't when it moves into a chant or a song or anything. Yeah. So I need to look more into that, but just doing that helps. So that's what I've been doing to practice opening my vocal channel so far. So it's very much just practice and practice making sounds that I usually can't make and being okay with that.
I get it. Oh, well, that's great. I get it. I cannot sing either, and I don't even try. So, yeah.
Okay, so that's the effort that I have been putting forth in the practices I've been putting forth to start to help to open the vocal channel. I don't know if that will help or I'm getting something right now. There's something in this that will help. There's a particular sound I'm supposed to make. Oh, let me tell you this. So like as I was doing the sounds, I was doing some oming, and while I was doing the oming, a very particular tonal note came in, and it was a tonal note fluctuation. So it starts low and it goes high. And as I'm doing this, I'm getting wolf. I'm like howling like a wolf. That's what this is like. It's what it's reminding me of. And so, okay, I took the bait. I started howling like a wolf. But also wondering what the people in the rooms next to me are thinking. I'm sitting here in my room going, oh. And you can see I'm getting red even just thinking of it. But I was able to get out 4 or 5 howls before I stopped. And that's what it is, like not putting on the brakes, moving with how the flow is flowing, taking the signs and symbols and moving along with them. And just not having any judgment come up in that. Yeah, so still working on that, as we can see.
That couple howls sounded pretty good, so I don't know. Maybe you were just too self-conscious about your voice or your singing voice, so to speak.
No, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It's I'm completely tone deaf as far as I think I must be tone deaf because I can't hit notes. I can speak them, but I can't sing them. Right now I'm getting breathing patterns. Right now I'm getting opening the upper lungs, which to my surprise, I've practiced pranayama almost a lifetime and taught for quite a while that my top lungs are closed down. And so re-expanding, re-inflating my top lungs. So a lot's coming into play. It seems to be a lot of work to do. Not that the channeling couldn't spontaneously happen in the middle of the work. Sometimes it's just identifying the work and that you need to practice and engaging in the practice that just makes it happen because the clearing is already underway. So I don't know, but those are sort of the things that are popping up with me. I already know about the throat closure. And yeah, now I've identified the top lungs, have a lot of work to re-inflate those, but everything happens so fast right now that the least little practice and consistency with practice opens things right up. And we have the Lion's Gate coming up, which is a huge portal for me. I don't know if it is for you. How do you feel about the Lion's Gate? Do you get phenomena each year with that?
I can't say that I know, but since last year, every astro phenomenon that's happening, I always get something. And then the funny thing is that I would be like, something will be happening to me. Like I'm quite sensitive to a lot of things. And then it's always like the day after I'll find out, oh, it was the full moon. Oh, it was an eclipse. Oh, I'm like, oh, no wonder. So I'm sure something is gonna happen to me. And yeah, and I think my personality has this. I don't even know how to describe it. I just don't really fixate on things, like especially these things, especially my own body. So I would get like some kind of energy boost, and I would just I would just think to myself that, oh, that's weird. And then a couple days later, I would find out, oh, okay, I guess that could be it. It's like we are getting hit by a lot of solar energy nowadays, right? Solar flares and all of that. And during that time when that I forgot what that's called, Schumann resonance or something like that.
Yeah, the Schumann resonance has been off the charts. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So the peak, the couple days that it hit the peak, I think my full body was being fried.
Yeah.
But then I didn't think too much of it. And then it's later on people was asking me about it. I was like, oh, that's why I feel like I was being fried. In a good way. It actually feels really good. It's just kind of exhausting sometimes because it's a constant sensation, right? So
when the Schumann is going off the charts, I'm extremely sensitive to this, and that's the experience I will have of it as well. I also will have to be horizontal. And it's interesting that when those frequencies come in, it never occurs to me that it's the Schumann resonance. I mean, it occurs to me that there's something happening, you know, and I better lay down or it's going to be a horizontal kind of a day. You know, I was designed to be horizontal, I think. But yeah, so it's been really going Richter. But with the Lionsgate, that portal is meaningful to me because that's when my crystal channeling started. That's what sort of really opened the flow. You know, the visuals began coming through. This whole scenes began coming through the crystal, and I began noticing. I had time to notice it and be wowed by it and start working with it. And then just like the OBEs, just something I can't put down. So in, you know. Okay, so there we are. There's our week. We're all caught up. Things are happening. Excellent. Did you channel it all this week?
I did. So during my meditation, I usually spend the first, I don't even know how long, but the first little while to see if I can be connected. I can get a contact. So I was able to do that. Yeah, I was able to do that. I think for me, it's more of a confidence thing because confidence in the words that comes through because as you know, I'm using conscious channeling, right? So yeah. I do also hear my own thoughts. So when I do that, when I have a contact, basically, I would have to really let go of my own thoughts and really, really relax and really, really not analyze whatever that's coming through so that I don't create anything in my own mind. Yeah, so I think that's the biggest thing. And I'm gonna say something that's probably not the best thing for me to say.
Good.
I am a little bit bored of my own channeling. So I for me that's like a toy. I been there, done that. I'm gonna play play with something else now. I'm still playing with it. I'm not saying that I'm completely abandoning it, but I am trying to see if there's any more stuff behind it or deeper. The deeper I go into it, if I could discover something else. So yeah.
So just a question popped in. So would a possible evolution of the channeling be you moving into a trance state, which means you going out of body while you channel, and then being able to bring that data back with you in addition to what got channeled through? That's what excites me. You see, it's not just the channeling; it's me going out there, also, and experiencing while that happens and being able to make it back with that information intact. that's interesting to me. And now we've got a double whammy. What happens with you during the channeling? See, this is what a lot of channels aren't bringing back yet because they're not OBEers. They're channels. But I'm principally an OBE, an out-of-body experiencer, a consciousness explorer. And so I'm feeling like when the trance channeling begins, and I'm in that out-of-body state, that I will learn what I need to do while out there to get back with that information. So I can report all of that as well. Right now, I can sort of move into a conscious out-of-body state and speak from that state. And I just call that reporting from the out-of-body state rather than channeling, because in my mind, it's not channeling yet, it's reporting. But I think that's in preparation for that. So now with you, what's the evolution of this for you? What would make channeling a toy that you want to play with again?
To go into trance channeling, like you say, I always have problem going to full trance, and I think, and that actually does translate to my difficulty in going out body. It's something that's not easy for me to do at all, actually. Even in my meditation, I will have conscious, I want to call it, and I don't like putting terms and saying terms like this, but there's no better way to say this. My out body experience during meditation is more like remote viewing. I know I'm still here. I feel it. I physically feel it, and energetically feel that I'm still here. Mm-hmm. But I do see stuff that's far away, and no way that I created it. So I always have this problem going out of body, even with dreams. That's as you have taught me, dreams are the introduction to out of body experience. I rarely bring too much back. I know that I dream every day, but I rarely bring anything back. And I have to give it a try to practice recording what I remember from my dream. But the dream that I remember are usually not very deep ones. And maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe I should just really discipline myself to stick to it. But the thing is, for me to be, I know you're smiling, and I completely understand how important that is. I completely know it. But for me to be very disciplined in something, I have to have interest in it. And I have to say, like, OBE for some reason just doesn't gather that much interest for myself. Like channeling, I liked it because it was fun. Meditation, I like it because it was fun. Going deeper into myself, I am obsessive with it because it was fun. It was interesting to me. Mm-hmm. So I'm just waiting for the calling, I guess, so to speak, to do it. And it does seem like the calling is probably going to come up soon, because the toys that I'm playing with, I'm getting a little bit bored of them. I shouldn't say that, but I am. Yeah.
No, I get you. It's easy to get bored here, right? And we have to have something to do, which is why we pull in all of these crazy talents. It's like, I need something more to play with, or there's nothing for me to do here. We don't play with the same toys that everybody else does, and so we need something. The reason I would say that those don't interest you is because they're not there yet. Just like you said, you're sort of waiting for them. But I would say shift the waiting into an availability, and always present availability for it. So don't put time or distance between yourself and it happening. Sit right there, perfectly available for it, and then see what happens.
I know, I've been waking up at 3, and every time I wake up at 3, I'm like, shouldn't I just try an OBE? It's kind of funny, like I wake up at 3, I'm like, I should go drink some water and bring my pen and paper and then really just I know, I would do it. I would do it. Yeah.
Why don't you? Do you know?
I'm just not interested. Like I say, it's just not that interesting yet. I don't know why. And that's the only reason I can come up with. And so maybe I'm just making excuses.
You
So
have to open the flow. Yeah.
yeah,
It becomes fascinating the moment you open the flow. So if you're not fascinated, no flow is open. Yeah. So get the pad of paper, get the pen. This is part of opening the flow. And every day write something down. As you'll notice, as soon as you start the flow in the writing of the words, more comes. You're like, oh yeah, that was interesting. I almost forgot about that. Except for it completely gets by you if you never put the pen to the paper or your fingers to the keyboards or whatever the mode you're going to use. So, but as soon as you do, there's the flow right there. Yeah, and a lot more data is usually in that than what you might imagine. And one big reason that people have a inclination to begin is because they think that they haven't remembered anything. So they're cutting off the flow before they even begin. So you wake up in the morning and there you are, and there doesn't seem to be any dream content. Close your eyes. Close your eyes and start looking into the field, and say, bring back to me my dreams, or what was I just dreaming? What am I dreaming? Or what was I just dreaming? However you want to do it. I usually put it in the present rather than the past. And it will open the flow. Even if it doesn't bring your dreams back, your visual field will generally light up because your brainwaves are still in alpha. They're not fully back in beta until you start engaging in thoughts and what you have to do for the day. So if you don't dive off in that way, if you give yourself those moments to open the flow and collect the data and to write that data down, it could just be how you felt when you woke up. Well, I woke up and I immediately felt anxious. That's something to write down. Even though you don't remember the details, you can still tell how you feel. You've just shifted from that to here. And so those feelings are still activated. You might remember that it was hot or that you had a hard time sleeping or that you went to bed late. All of it is to be written down. The whole thing about writing them down isn't to collect a day's worth of data. This is why people get bored. They'll write down something for a day and then nothing else. Well, there's not enough data there to be giving you any interest. You have to do it every day. And then when you look at what you've written over the course of a week, you may be able to see some patterns. Wow, an elephant was in my dream or came up 3 times this week, or I seem to be waking up anxious a lot. Look at this. You'll start to see a pattern, or wow, I'm really not getting to bed until late. I didn't even realize that until I just read what I wrote. It's amazing what gets by us when we're so focused on the field. And then you do it every day for a month, and now you've got a month of data, a month of patterns to look at. Now there's even more patterns. You see, now it's getting interesting. Patterns are fascinating.
I agree.
Yeah.
I sound ridiculous to myself when I was saying what I was saying to you. So I agree. Yeah.
It's not ridiculous. It's what happens to me on everything that I don't engage in. It's what happens to everybody else on what they don't engage. But engaging the flow is nothing but amazing each and every time we do it. I would say look at what you are interested in and begin opening the flows with those tools. Don't necessarily have more. But dream state awareness is huge, not just to our daily life, but to our physical structures right now. So it's sort of almost as important to most people on the planet right now is breathing and fluids and food.
So would you like to go in today? Sorry, before you go in, so I basically just watch you and observe you. And when I feel like I should ask a question, then I'll go ahead and ask a question. Is that correct?
I will let you know when I'm in the proper space. And again, a very good cue for me is the simple question, and what is happening now?
Mm, okay.
Again and again, um, until I'm reporting kind of regularly and I'm really in there. And then, okay, so I'm getting a visual symbol. My process begins with being flashed symbols. This one is extraordinarily large. It is an ankh.
Mm,
Could also be taken for an upside down key with a very large loop on the top. Right, we're off and flowing. It's as though the key is attached to a string and it's now floating up the way in front of me. I'm just gonna follow the key. The key is beginning to spiral to the right. The top loop is becoming a heart shape. I have eyes looking back at me now. These are the eyes of an animal. Yeah, a wolf-like animal. I'm not afraid. This wolf is coming at me, teeth bared. Okay, I'm just letting it enter. It's entering from my middle at approximately the area between the heart and solar plexus. Mhm. There's a being very closely associated with mine. He has recently come through with extraordinary clarity through the crystal. And I'm seeing the association of the wolf, of the animal totem, with this entity. There's a name beginning to come to me. Name begins with S. It's Saif. Saif.
are you able to tune into Saif's vibration?
At the moment, I'm just and more so enjoying that Saif is here. There is energetic activity occurring in and around the area that was entered, and it's as though he's sort of coming in and sitting himself right here. Yeah, so Saif may be a short being in stature. One moment. I'm heating up now. When the energies come in, I get very hot. One moment. I am not in a place to channel. I am very comfortable in the expanded state. My full sensory system is on. I am able to report from this sensory system. The sensory system will begin to turn on more of the visuals at a point, but this is a process. There is beginning to be a reference to self in the third person. So the exchange who principally sits at the front is in play. Recognize the bobbing of the head as the yell, but immediately corrected in that this is principally an Andromedan energy beginning to come in one moment. There's the spiral, which is the tunnel leading from one space into another space. As this is occurring, I am beginning to feel my body making involuntary movements that would be more in association with the energies present and attempting to come in. I am still in a very light state of trance. It will need to deepen significantly before I am able to let their energy enter the flow of breath. As I do this, the other energies are beginning to enter the flow of breath. I can feel the differential between the hardness of my energy and the softness of those now coming in. An interesting activity with the physical eyes. It is like my vision is attempting to be focused in a particular manner. A manner that I know through practice allows me to feel more of a vibration, more of a tangible vibration through the body as I speak. I enjoy moving consciously through this process. Is what I myself perhaps most enjoy, the moving from one state into another state. The observation of the differentials, having more data. I am in need of data in a similar way as most people are in need of the air, of the water, of more physical sustenance. It is interesting as well to not only experience this, but to vocalize it. The energy and the frequencies and the vibration of the vocalization is desirable. A tuning is taking place, a re-tuning, a destination has been reached. It is possible I may be dropped off here. Let's see. And the mountains are now present. The opportunity we never let an opportunity go by. When I am in this state to experiment, I'm going to leave that area. I prefer to not be present for that coming down. Brief communication about my exit.
What is happening now?
I feel I have surrendered the real, the playground. I am attempting a disconnection. They can continue with or without me. do. And they are, they say. I am in a good place, but I feel as though I want to attempt to complete with this for now. Today, I often feel this way and energetically cannot, even through my effort, vacate the space. It's interesting. It's like a series of soft, circular, energetic barriers or constraints. It's not imposed. It's self-employed.
How is the connection now?
Sorry, repeat.
What is happening now?
Ping pong. There's a shadow ball in the field. It's bouncing around. And I'm just following it. Okay. I'm coming out. One moment.
How do you feel?
Neither here nor there about that. Liked the adjustment in the beginning, and that was quite interesting to me. And I liked the dynamic, the energetic, what I call the differentials between the fields, between the energies, between the moving into one state and another state. But I don't like to be present on the table too much. I mean, I do, and to gather information, but for the purpose of what we were doing here today, I didn't feel like I wanted to be there.
What do you mean? I don't think I don't think I understand that.
That was the mantids. So I went on a craft. They get me. Like when I go out, they like grab me. They never let an opportunity go by, it seems. Yeah, I don't know what they work on because I don't like them too much.
You don't like them too much, or
No,
who do you know who is it that grabbed you?
the mantids.
Oh, the mantids.
Uh,
Okay. Do you know what they want to do?
they experiment on me.
Okay.
Yeah, they collect data, they fix things. They're not
This
bad. They're not bad. They're not mean. I just don't like being there too much.
okay. Do you know why they grab you this time?
Yeah, anytime that I'm going out, you know.
Can we ask them not to grab you?
Uh, you could try.
Can I do that next time? Can I ask them not to grab you?
I wouldn't. Like that's the first time that that happened, like during a live channeling practice.
That is interesting.
Yeah, I wouldn't focus on that. Usually, I just focus my attention in a different way. But um, some of the work that they do requires my conscious presence, and I wasn't participating in that. And just now, there was a level of discontent at me at that. Put me down in this little playground area and cartoon like little boys spraying water at me.
So were you on the craft this whole time? Oh, were you with them this whole time? This time?
Yeah, they snatched me at a certain point.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Quite early in the point too. You were.
when you go back and listen, you'll hear. I told you that the mantids were there.
Yeah, you did. So it was actually quite early into the session, actually. I think it was only 10 minutes, 15 minutes into the session. Oh, so okay. And you mentioned tuning. So were they trying to tune you or?
That was the Andromedans came in to tune.
Yeah.
The Andromedans with the Yael.
Are they tuning you for some specific purpose for channeling or for
They
some
were,
other?
they were just tuning me for the purpose of beginning a channel, opening a channel, just that.
Right.
But then I got snatched and I wasn't pleased at that or where I went, and they weren't pleased at me for wanting to vacate. And then I went down into this little playground area. That was a communication between them and me. Yeah.
Has the Andromedians tuned you before?
Yeah, I have an Andromedan counterpart.
No, I mean have they tried to tune you before?
Yes, all of my counterparts tune me.
Okay.
All of my counterparts, but there's a major Andromedan counterpart. I'm going to say within the 5 entities that are closest to me, one of them is Andromedan. One of them is Antaran. One of them is the other A. It's not coming to me. Yeah, and then 2 that we don't know their races. There's no name for them. They're out beyond our known territory. But Scythe is one of those. So Scythe came into the lifetime with me, and yeah.
Were you able to? I guess you wasn't able to learn more about you opening up your channeling this session.
Say the question again.
Sorry, what I meant to ask was, were you able to gather information about activating your ability of channeling in this session?
I was until I got snatched.
Oh, I see. I get it. Is there any way that I can somehow do something so that you don't get snatched and then you can, keep being tuned by the by other counterparts from the Andromeda?
No, because that happens. Usually my attention doesn't go there. Usually, and I was trying to focus on this and my whole attention got snatched. When I say I got
Right.
snatched, I mean my attention got snatched.
Okay.
And I wanted to be here. You see, I interfere with the process. That was all probably pretty much part of the process to get me wholly out of the body so that the Andromedan energy with the Yael there, the Yael to me, I like the joy energy of the Yael. That's why that's often brought in for me but I like experiencing that. But see, here's the thing, I want to go into trance, but then I also didn't want to be up there. So that was probably me interfering with the whole process, just because I didn't like where my attention went.
Okay.
If I would have stayed up there, maybe the Andromedan energy or maybe the Yael energy would have started coming through for you.
Is that something that you want to do, or no, that's not something you want to do?
I want to move into trance. I do want to move out of the body. But the thing that happens with me, like when I start going in there, I will feel like I am being distracted from the channeling. And this is what happened with my other channeling partners as well. I felt like I was getting distracted while I was in the state. When I was out of the state and when I watched the playback, clearly it wasn't, but that was how I start feeling in there. So that can be the block. I really have to work on that. So when I am moving into the state and I begin to feel like I'm being distracted from what is I'm aimed at happening, then I should know that a distraction is not in play and everything is happening to facilitate this right now. I need to have that reminder for myself. So I am sending in that reminder to the team to help remind me the next time I'm in there and that happens.
Can I help you remind you?
So fascinating. If you say, Casey, don't be distracted, I'm not sure that would work.
Right.
It's something that I have to feel and know from within. It's something that you could maybe remind me before I'm going in, hey, Casey, remember?
Yeah, I will remember that.
Last time everything was happening perfectly, but you felt distracted. So, okay, and okay. So when I feel distracted, next time, I will instead know everything is happening.
Fine, yeah, okay. I'll definitely do that because I actually did think you are going into. Yeah, I can see that you are in the between place of actually drifting into trance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but then I didn't really know what was happening until you explained it to me after your session. To be honest. Yeah, but then but I did notice that there's a shift in during the session.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm good
to know what I can do. Sorry?
I'm good at the conscious shift. I'm just not good at channeling it. Well, which is why we're practicing.
I think I'm almost there, to be honest. I think the block is actually really, I wouldn't say you're trying to a certain degree, and obviously, please correct me if I'm wrong. I think to a certain degree, you were trying to trying to control the experience in some way, intentionally or unintentionally, yeah.
Well, I'm still there, and my thoughts and feelings come up. And again, one of my own thoughts and feelings is that I'm being taken away from what it is that I want to happen. So there are certain signposts when a person moves into trance that they begin to recognize, oh yeah, that means something's coming. Okay, yeah, focus into that, feel into that, keep, getting into that. You start to recognize the signposts. The thing with me is I don't often have the opportunity like yourself to practice this. And so I might get a signpost like that, like feeling that way. right when it is I actually am moving into trance, meaning out of the way. But I don't do it often enough to remember the next time I'm in there.
Great. So this is the
If I did it more often, I would, of course, remember. I mean, yeah.
yeah. This is that's why I say great. So that this time is like enhancing that reminder. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a purpose for everything, and that was the purpose for that. Exactly. Use everything as a way to help you, then hurt you. I already know that. Yes. So good. Thank you for the reminder. And now that we have that on film, as it were, I will use this to remind myself often. And yeah, when we meet again, definitely remind me going in. Do you want to take a jaunt inside yourself?
I actually want to tell you, I want to share my experience, just watching you going in. So I feel a lot of physical sensations energetically. That's something weird, but anyways,
That doesn't sound right.
I just right now it's just the third eye is basically shining. I guess I can feel the third eye radiating right now. And then when you were going in, when you say that the Andromedans, oh, how do you call them? Andromedans, when they're tuning you, I feel stuff actually coming in through the third eye into my throat, my heart, and my solar plex. Basically, all the chakras at the same time. So that was actually quite interesting to me. And then when you say that your attention was snatched away, I still feel the tuning. So maybe you were still being tuned. But then, yeah, even though you didn't fully go into trance. Yeah, that's just what I want to share with you. I'm also wondering, is there anything else that you think that I can do to help you when you are in during the session?
I go in there fairly well on my own. It takes me, everything is slow-mo right now. I'm sorry about that, you know. I don't know if you saw my videos when I first started making videos, but super slow-mo. And I'm like that with most things that I begin because I'm trying to observe so much and embed the sensory data of what it is I'm observing, so that it's fixed here. Yeah, and that is a signpost, something that I recognize and something that I'll play with between this practice and the next time we get together to practice. So yeah, just letting me go in there. If there's too long of a period between me saying something, just the one sentence and
Yeah. Okay.
is the good thing, because that will get me to focus on what's happening. And also at the same time, remember to report that, because sometimes I will get into the sensory data to the degree that I forget to report. So that's what that helps with. And it also helps, they pointed this out to me today, that as I'm not just experiencing shifting from state to state, but vocalizing it in the same process, it vibrates the body. It sends a vibration through the body and excites the cells, which loosens tension. It loosens, it sends them from what I call point mode to waveform. Okay, and so yes, as this begins to happen with the body, this is important to my process for the channeling.
It's good to know. Yeah.
So, and I don't know if that has to do with what I feel we may do with it, and that is literally more form. But it feels like it. That may be an inner experience that I'm having. However, the more conscious I am of that inner experience, the more it may actually become visible through my physicality here. Yeah, no, I'm getting a yes on that. I'm getting a yes on that.
Okay.
They have me working on the singing.
Okay. Right.
I don't say it that way. I say it chanting. They say it's singing because they know I have a negative association with singing. I can't sing. And so I can sing. I can sing lovely. I'm sure there's many of you with extraordinary voices who will play this instrument like a fine-tuned machine. And I will let you through. But right now, I want to engage in that as a separate practice until just until I get more comfortable. Maybe a week or 2 or 3 or 4, and then maybe we can look at that as we have the healing circle at 4 my
Oh,
time.
you are doing a healing circle on Zoom as well?
Thursdays. So if you are
I have to really check out that schedule because I would love to be in a healing circle.
it's all pinned to the top of the board now, even the instant Zoom. So it's all right there. You just go to the board and right there pinned in the announcement right at the top are all of the links.
Sounds great.
Definitely come.
I will. I actually will come to that one. Definitely. I've been meaning to go for the meditation as well, but I don't meditate well at night. And the 11 a.m. one, I usually just finish my own. So I'm like, yeah, and that's the only reason. So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want to dive into the mind and states of consciousness, the nighttime meditation is good. If you want to dive into those same, expanded states, but applying them to your day, that's what the day meditation is good for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I get sleepy when I meditate at night. That's the only reason. So, and I don't like that feeling.
Yeah. That's why I like to do it at 8. It also reminds me to put my work down. So I won't put the work down. I'll be up at 3 o'clock in the morning still working. If I don't put that meditation there and remind myself, okay, I'm done working for today now, put on a nice sci-fi something or other and let yourself fall off. So far it's only working half the time. Yeah. Because if there's work to do, it's hard for me to put it down. And we've got a lot to do this year. We have a lot to do building a sustainable community so that, this can be my work now and I don't have to do the 2 jobs. So, yeah. Okay.
Okay, bye.
Excellent.